Ooh, I got some tea today to tell y'all about. You know who Dabo Swinney is. That's the head coach for Clemson. And ever since the NIL era, he has stood steadfast that he did not want student athletes to become employees. But now he might be changing his mind. Let me tell you what happened. You're not going to believe what happened. The reason he's leaning towards employees at all surrounds a linebacker named Luke Farrellis that was in the portal. This was Dabo's first time around the portal, and it just went bizarre. On January the 4th, Jordan Sorrell had his first conversation with Luke Fickell and his dad about coming to Clemson. He also spoke to Ryan Williams, which is Luke's agent. They came on campus, and then later that night, they were at Dabo's house. It's like, I don't know if they was over there having dinner or what, but that was the first time that Dabo and Luke actually met. Now, Luke and his dad had been over at Ole Miss checking them out, so Dabo asked them, how did that go? And his dad said it wasn't good. They were unorganized. The building was a mess. Nobody seemed to know what was going on. They were not impressed at all. January the 6th, Luke was given an offer to come and join the team, and he verbally accepted. Now, keep in mind, Dabo was only looking for one linebacker, and he thought he found his guy, so he canceled all the other linebackers that were coming to interview for this job. Right before Luke and his father took back off for California, they signed an agreement for his financial aid so he'd be prepared to start school on January the 11th. So Luke ends up moving to Clemson. He gets an apartment and he buys a car and he starts school. At this time, he's also training with the team. He's all aboard, right? You would think that, wouldn't you? Now, Williams talks to Sorrell and tells him that Ole Miss has been coming hard at Luke. And he assures Sorrell that Luke's not going anywhere. He's totally committed to Clemson. So Sorrell goes to Dabo and tells him how hard that Ole Miss is still coming after Luke. So Dabo tells him, you need to call their general manager and give them a warning and tell them to knock it off because, that is tampering. And he's sending that message to Pete Golding. That's the head coach at Ole Miss. And Dabo was pretty blunt. He said, I will turn you in. Now, correct me if I am wrong, but didn't Jim Harbaugh from Michigan, he got a 10-year show cause for recruiting violations, and so did Jeremy Pruitt from Tennessee. Both of them got that show cause penalty for doing the same thing, or about the same thing. Now, the GM at Ole Miss told Sorrell that he had talked to the agent and he didn't want any part of what was going on, that his relationship with Sorrell was way more important than Luke was. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Pete Golding sent him a text going, I know you signed with Ole Miss. How much is your buyout? You're not allowed to do that. Are you listening to this, NCAA? This was just blatant recruiting violation that needs to be addressed pronto. Then he sends him a picture of $1 million check. Sure did. He had Trinidad Chambliss call him and try to convince him to come over to Clemson. Yes, he did. And former players call him and try to get him to come to Clemson, come to Ole Miss. I'm like, no, you didn't. Even Jackson Dart called him and wanted him to come over there to Ole Miss. I'm like, what? Now, this whole time, Luke is still saying, oh, yeah, I'm not going. I'm going to stay. So Ole Miss reaches out again and doubles their offer to $2 million. Yeah, then Sorrell can't get him on the phone. He's unreachable, so they drive over to his apartment. He bounces out there and goes, it was the last day you could get into the portal, and that's exactly what he did. He told him, he said, I'm going to have to get in the portal, and he did. He left, and now he's gone to Ole Miss. I hope they nail Pete's butt to the wall. I really do. Y'all know that that's tampering and that's recruiting a violation. Don't you know that? Tell me what you think. I'm just like, are you kidding me?